Hello and welcome back to Soul Foods by Maximilian, and today I'm going to show you how to make my family's version of pastitsio. This recipe comes from my dad's side of the family, but it's been brought together to have a little bit of Italian and a little bit of Greek. I'm going to show you how to make it now. So first you're going to put in a clove of garlic into a large dish for your sauce, and then you're going to add olive oil. You're going to wait till it's brown and flavorizes the pan, and then you're going to add onion. Brown it a little bit. Just one more. And then you'll add the diced celery. And you have to be careful because this is all going to be on high heat, so you got to mix to make sure that nothing burns. Once the vegetables are soft and translucent, we're ready to add the meat. And you're going to break it up and mix it through. Okay, you can see the meat is almost ready once it's finally starting to turn brown. Okay, now our pan's looking good and the meat is looking good. So now we're going to deglaze the whole pan by adding 1 cup of red wine, good quality red wine. Don't buy cheap wine for this. Good quality wine will improve the flavor a lot. Mix it thoroughly. Okay, so now that the wine has been added, we're going to add a few shakes of white pepper just to give it a bit of flavor. Give that a nice mix. And then for the simmering, you're going to add 2 medium-sized bay leaves. Try to spread them out to make sure everything gets an eating coating. And then you're going to take 1 tin of Italian tomato paste. And you're going to add that in as well. Now that you've mixed the tomato paste and the bay leaves and pepper are in, you're going to lower the heat a little bit, and then you're going to add a whole tin of tomato pulpa. And then mix that in as well. Now that you've strained the pasta and it's all in the pots, you're going to then start making the bechamel. So first you're going to put the butter into a bowl and you're going to melt it. Keep stirring it to make sure it doesn't burn on the bottom. Now when it's fully melted, you're going to take a cup of double zero or plain flour and add it in. Stirring it around fast because you don't want it to clump up. turn quite thick. Now once it starts bubbling, it's ready for the milk. Then you start adding full fat milk. Go slow when you add the milk because you don't want it to squash and cover you with it because it is very hot. Now you'll notice it will thicken up nicely, and that's what you're looking for, but not too thick. You keep adding milk until you get the consistency you're looking for. And once you've added the milk, you should get consistency of just normal liquid. And as you go, you got to keep whisking it to make sure it doesn't burn on the bottom. And you keep doing this until it thickens up, and then to a point you add Parmesan cheese. Now, once it simmers, you're going to kill the heat and leave it for 5 minutes, and we'll start building the pasticcio. Now, it's really important to always scrape the bottom with your whisk to make sure nothing burns on the bottom, because then you can't use it. And this is about done. So what you want to do is kill the heat, and you'll know it's done when it's nice and ribbony, when it leaves the mark of your whisk inside the bechamel. Now, next step is you take your Parmesan and you whisk it in. And be wary because it gets really thick. And then you add about a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon for flavor. Be sure to scrape the walls. Make sure none of the cinnamon or Parmesan sticks to the walls. You want it all mixed together. And then you add a pinch kosher salt. And done. Now that you've mixed the salt, the cinnamon, and the Parmesan, you want to let it sit and cool down for about 10 minutes before the next part. Now once your bechamel is cooled down, and it's very, very thick, you're ready for the final step for the bechamel sauce. And that's you take your eggs and you beat them with salt and pepper. And then for the final step, you add the eggs into the bechamel. Okay, so I've got the pasta in here, drained, and I left it for a little bit so the starchiness can hold all the pasta together so it doesn't fall apart. I've added a little bit of Parmesan as well, just to give it a bit more flavor. And now I'm going to start building it. So, first you're going to take a large spoon, and you're going to get into your sauce, and you're going to add a layer of sauce on top of the pasta. And if you have any pasta sauce left over, remember, this can be frozen and you can use it for other things like pizzas or other pastas. It's really delicious. Okay, so now that you've got a layer of the meat, you're going to take, I like to take a ladle because the sauce is very thick and allows it to just spread it around. You're going to take your bechamel and put a nice big amount on top. And I recommend using the same spoon you use. You just want a thin layer to cover the meat. Okay, now that you've added the layer of bechamel, you're gonna put it into the preheated oven, but I'm gonna add a little bit of parmesan on top. You can add cinnamon and nutmeg. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of parmesan. Let's sprinkle on top. Make sure to get the edges. And done. Now, once this is all done, you're going to want to put it into 180 degrees Celsius preheated oven for about an hour and a half, making sure to check on it periodically every 30 minutes to make sure it's browned but not burning. Okay, you can see it's done. The top has turned crusty and brown. It looks perfect. We're going to let it sit for at least 15 minutes to cool down and harden up. Okay, now that we've given it a chance to rest, we're going to start cutting it. Now you can cut it into as many pieces as you want. I'm going to cut it into 6 pieces, this way, then this way. So first you want to go down the middle. Gotta get even pieces. And then a good tip is when you're going around the edges, before you try to go in, it's going to stick to the edges, so use your knife, and at the back edge of the piece, just cut it from the walls. And then you serve. And that's how you make my family's delicious pastitsio. I hope you enjoy.